Is the Traxxas TRX4m the best RC crawler for less than $200? The Bronco version that I have here today, along with the Land Rover Defender version of this truck, will cost you about $150, whereas the newer lifted K10 and F150 versions of this truck will cost about $175. One very important thing about ready-to-run RC crawlers is how they perform right out of the box. Now here I can only speak for the Bronco because that's all I've ever had and all I've ever driven. I don't know how well the Defender and the new K10 and F150 versions crawl. I've heard that the Bronco performs the best out of all of them so far, but I don't know that from experience. That's just what I've heard from other people that own them. But regardless, these trucks perform amazingly right out of the box. Compared to my heavily modified Axial SCX24, they almost perform about the same. Obviously, they're slightly different scales. They're not the exact same type of car. You know, the Deadbolt is going to be a bit more of a performance crawler, while the Bronco is going to be a bit more of a, a scale looks and can still kind of crawl, But even with that, the Bronco performs almost as good as my SCX24 after all the modifications I've done to it. If you want to see a video about the mods and upgrades I've done to my Axial SCX24, you can click up in the corner right here for that video if you want to check that out. But this truck is very, very good at crawling straight out of the box. It's super planted, the center of gravity is already quite low, so it just kind of sticks to everything. Probably the first performance thing that would need an upgrade would be the tires. These tires that, they work, they're not the greatest in the world. On my SCX24 here, I have the Proline Hyraxes, which work quite amazingly. I don't think they're the best ones you can get, but they're pretty cheap. And so eventually I'll probably upgrade the tires on this truck just so I can get the most performance out of it as I possibly can. But for now, just these stock tires, they work great. It's awesome. So far, the only upgrades I've done to this truck are a light kit and the low-speed gearing from Traxxas. Obviously, the light kit is just cosmetic, doesn't do anything for performance, but it does really, really look cool. And the low-speed gearing is quite an important thing if you really want to crawl with it. I kind of forgot to mention that a minute ago. Straight out of the box, the gearing is a bit too high. So if you do plan on really trying to crawl with this thing, or getting lots of performance out of it, I would highly recommend those low-speed gears. And these are still the stock rims. Me and one of my buddies, we actually just took some silver Sharpie and just Sharpied around the edge of each rim. It looks pretty sweet, and some of the actual real life, like big full-size Ford Broncos actually have that same kind of silver around the rim, beadlock kind of look. So, it kind of looks realistic, gives it a little bit of a different look from fully stock, and I think it just looks pretty sweet. Now, if you're one of those people that doesn't necessarily need a super high-performing truck right out of the box, you more want to buy your own upgrades, make your truck really, really personalize your truck, and then just spend all your money on upgrades, and make it a super capable truck, then this truck might also be a good option for you, because there are plenty of upgrades and modifications available to buy already. And this is still a relatively new truck, so there's just constantly more and more upgrades and modifications you can do, or at least the same type of thing but from different manufacturers and whatnot for this truck. There are quite a few accessories and upgrades that you can buy straight from Traxxas, so if you want just the real deal straight from the same people that made the truck in the first place, there's plenty of stuff that you can buy from that. Of course, that is going to be a bit more expensive than buying those same type of things from other brands that didn't make the truck in the first place, because Traxxas can just kind of sell their stuff for whatever price and people will buy it. But then you're getting a good quality part and it's not going to fall apart in 3 days. One thing that I especially love about this truck is how it looks. I've said this in so many of my videos before. It just looks so cool. It's so realistic looking too. A lot of people that I've shown my videos of this car to, they thought it was a real Bronco right at first. And then of course they realized that it's actually just this little tiny RC car. But that's one thing that I really love about it. Say again versus this Axial SCX24. Yeah, the Deadbolt looks really, really cool, but it doesn't look exactly scale. Like, if you got a video of this thing, nobody's gonna think that it's real. But this truck, at the right angle, with the right camera stuff, the right background and everything, if you do it right, you could almost fool somebody for a couple of seconds and make them think it's real. Because I've even done that unintentionally, but The scale looks is just incredible, and there's even more scale accessories you can get for it, you know, or just like making your own stuff. You can make it look even more realistic, you know, different bumpers, wheels, or like a roof rack on top. Just things like that, and the light kit, you know. It all helps with making it look super scale. If you want to check out this truck or any variant of this truck, I'll put a link to all of those in the description of this video, and if you'd like to see some more videos about this truck specifically, you can click right here for a full playlist of videos about that, and if you'd like to see an in-depth comparison between this Traxxas TRX4m and my Axial SCX24, you can click right here for a video about that, and I'll see you over there.